Cavalry! Charge! Cavalry! Form a wall! Stop! Loose formation! Soldier! Forward! Horsemen! Forward! Move! Form a troops! Move! Soldier! Forward! Troops! Move! Soldier! Forward! Follow me! Horse! Form a line! Horsemen! Form a scout! Charge! Follow me! Soldier! Infantry! Troops! Move! Forward! Infantry! Soldier! Forward! Troops! Move! Soldier! Stand apart! Form a shield wall! Troops! At loose formation! Footmen! Raise your shield! Troops! Stand back to move! Form a shield wall! Troops! On my flank! Troops! Form a shield! Troops! Move! Soldier! Stand apart! Cavalry! Cavalry! Form a line! Soldier! Make troops! Form a shield! Soldier! Horsemen! Makers! Follow me! Cavalry! Move! Move! Line formation! Order! Form a line! Troops! Soldiers! Soldier! Move! Loose formation! Follow me! Cavalry! Form a scade! I'll tear your limbs! Infantry! Footmen! Right! Soldier! Forward! Move! Move! Stand apart! Cavalry! Forward! Or loose formation! So forward! Move! Soldier! Stand! After me! Move! Cavalry! Shoulder to shoulder! Group move to enemy! Cavalry! Camel, loose formation! Horse, form a shield wall! Sword forward! Cavalry! Together! In forward! Troops, loose formation! Camel charge! Attack! Give him a move! So after me! Move! Charge! Soldiers! Charge! Cavalry, move! Troops, start and kill them all! Soldiers, loose, forward! Charge! Sword move! Everyone move!